When you're looking at Epstein, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she said this is ripping MAGA apart. Do you agree? And what do you think the impact on the Epstein files and what those emails and everything we've seen so far as it relates to Jeffrey Epstein, what do you think the political impact is?
It's really hard to say because of the way that that bill went through and what the implementation of it will be. Of course, there's a 30-day window once the bill is signed for the Department of Justice to release the files, any files that are not classified. But there is a very big loophole that Donald Trump and his cronies can create for themselves in how those records are released, which is, of course, that any records tied to an ongoing investigation, the Department of Justice will be able to make the case, right, that they are not going to release those records, right? And so last week, Donald Trump, we're not talking enough about the fact that Donald Trump just last week directed the Department of Justice to go start investigations into his political rivals, Democratic donors, people who are, influential Democrats. So we know that the Justice Department is going to stand up. Opening an investigation doesn't mean anything, right? Investigation after investigation after investigation. And they'll be able to drive a truck through kind of any excuse for refusing to release those files. So this is, as I said, an issue that does not have backlash. This is an issue that people across this political spectrum are united on. And so I actually don't think that this issue is going away in terms of anger from the American people. But I also don't think that we're suddenly going to see the light of day in terms of transparency around Epstein.
And to that point, I mean, there have been calls for release the files, release the documents when it comes to Epstein, really for years from both parties. Republicans were really loud, and some Republicans ran on that in 2024. So you don't think that this is going away anytime soon? I mean, what do you think the next iteration of this is? Do you think it would just be easier and almost the country could move on if everything was released all at once and then that was it?
It's very hard to say because at this point, I mean, you mentioned Republicans running on this issue in 2024. Donald Trump ran on this issue in 2024. He ran on the issue of transparency around the Epstein files, even though Epstein was one of his best friends. So I think that the way that the Trump administration and Pam Bondi's Justice Department have behaved in the aftermath really makes the situation very tricky, such that I'm not sure there's any scenario where we could ever quell the conspiracy theories around Epstein or ever create for the American people a true sense that they've gotten the answers they deserve.